Well, hello. My name is Ben. Welcome to Ben's Language Lab. As we know, stories are an excellent way to improve at a language, and stories with pictures, just like these, are even better. And so today we're going to read a comic together. This video is meant for beginner-level English learners, and so if you need, there are subtitles available, or you can find the entire transcript on benslanguagelab.com. Make sure you subscribe for more videos like this one. But for now, your job is to watch, listen, and enjoy. We're still reading Tintin and Red Rackham's Treasure, which is the second in a series of books, starting with Tintin and the Secret of the Unicorn. And so if you haven't seen any of the other episodes, click on the link in the description to watch from the beginning. All right, let's start learning. So, last time we were here and they were struggling to find the treasure. They didn't find anything for 2 weeks. But then Tintin started to say something. He said, "Come on, Captain, you... ... And we see Calculus looking out into the water. So let's see what happens. And then he says quickly, "Tell me, what is that cross over there?" He says. "A cross? Where do you see a cross?" "No, a cross. That cross over there is on the island." And then he looks through the spyglass, the telescope that he has here, because they're trying to figure out what cross he means. And sure enough, it certainly is a cross, isn't it? A cross, right there. So a cross is can be anything that's crossed, right? But it typically refers to a cross like this, which has religious significance, right? So a cross. But let's see what this mysterious cross is on the island. And then Tintin asks the captain, I say, "Captain, Professor Calculus is right. There is a cross over there on the tip of the island." "A cross?" he says. And then he says, "You think so?" Because, of course, he can't hear anything. So he's guessing what they're saying. And then he looks also to the telescope and says, "Thundering typhoons, it is indeed a cross." And then Calculus is going, "Really? I'd have sworn it was a cross." Because he can't hear anything. And then Tintin says, "Hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! I've got it!" he says. So hip, 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 hooray, actually, is what he said. And that's like a yes! He's got it. He figured something out. But they both go, "What? What do you mean?" Professor Calculus, you've saved us," he says. "Let me waltz with you the whole night through." And he's dancing with Professor Calculus as the others are so confused. Haddock is going, "What is he doing?" And Calculus, of course, is going, "What? Why is he dancing with me?" And there's Snowy, of course, also a little confused, right? And then he says, "Quickly, Captain, picks, shovels, we're going back to the island." And so a pick is a tool for digging, right? That kind of look like this, and you can pull out rock or dirt. And a shovel is a tool like this, with the shovel head, kind of like that, meant for also digging holes. So they're going to go look for the treasure, not in the water, but on the island. That's where the treasure is, or so thinks Tintin. Then he says, "Yes, Captain, the treasure lies there." You remember the words in Sir Francis Haddock's message, "Then shines forth the eagle's cross." There it is, the eagle's cross. "Thundering typhoons, you're right," he says. So remember back to the riddle, the mysterious papers they found in the other series. That's where it said, "Then shines forth the eagle's cross." And that was a hint, a clue on where to find the treasure. "Hooray! Thompson, fetch the picks and shovels. Hurry up, into the dinghy." Remember, this is the dinghy. So he says, "Go get the picks and shovels, you two idiots. We're going to the island." And then they're sitting on the boat, and Haddock is finally thanking Professor Calculus. Well, Professor Calculus, we can never thank you enough. And then he says, it's rather enough. It is rather rough, It is rather rough, because he can't hear. He's useless. And they're all super happy. They're all smiling. They're all really excited as they're going to the island to investigate the cross. And then we hear him say, Haddock say, no, I said it's a thanks to you that we're going to find the treasure. Oh, well, I'm sure it's a cross. A cross? Of course, it is a cross. No, and then he keeps going with it. Of course, it is a cross. No, don't you think? Do you think so? Says Professor Calculus, is that he's guiding him with his arm. He has him by the arm, and he's pulling him along. And we see Tintin has a shovel, Haddock has a pick. These two have shovels as well. Another shovel, and Snowy is looking very excited. They're going forward, hiking up the hill here. We see one of those rude parrots from earlier. Baboon, freshwater swab. Hello, my friend, says Haddock, as he's not upset anymore. Baboon, freshwater swab. And then they make it to the cross, and Tintin says, hooray, here it is. Gentlemen, this is it, the Eagle's Cross. Well, did I not tell you? Is it or is it not a cross? Says Calculus. And then they go up closer, and they see these interesting lines. So they're looking close at the cross, and you can see here there's a lot of stuff on it. Well, what's the meaning of these notches? He says. A notch is sort of like a cut or a groove into something. So if there's like a regular piece of wood, for example, right, here's the board. If there's like a bit in a little part of it that like kind of goes inward, right, like that, that'd be a notch. Sort of a notch in the wood. Or here, we can see that there's little notches. These little lines are carved into the wood. They've taken material from the wood. And so they're notches. And then Tintin says, it's a calendar. When your ancestor was marooned like Robinson Crusoe, he counted the days until he was rescued. So to be marooned is an interesting word. That's when you're stuck on an island. That's what it means. So if you get trapped on an island, you're marooned there. And so they're talking about a famous book, an old book, where somebody gets marooned on an island. And so he counted the days until he was rescued. So he kept track. So he counted the days. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or I think he's doing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so he's doing groups of 7, right? So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, right? And that's how he's marking. So it's 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's counting the weeks that he's been there until he was rescued, until somebody came to save him. Look, there's a small notch for the weekdays and one large one for Sundays. So that's what I just said. I didn't actually read that, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sun, 1, 2, 3, and that's how he marked the days. And then Haddock says, to work, I'll give a bottle of rum to whoever finds the treasure. And so he's offering a prize to whoever digs up the treasure. And so they all start digging. But of course, Professor Calculus doesn't know what's going on. And he says, are you looking for something? He's very confused. And they don't even answer him. They just ignore him. They keep digging. They're digging away. Here's a pretty big hole. They're digging a large hole. Oh, Snowy gets smacked in the face with some dirt. And then Haddock says, blistering barnacles, put away your pendulum. Come and give us a hand instead. Towards the west. Yes, it does. So he wants help. He wants him to come help dig because he's not being very helpful with his pendulum. But, of course, he doesn't listen to him and just says, yes, it does. It goes west. So we'll see if they find the treasure, right? And then he's still very confused. What can they be searching for like that? And they keep digging and digging, and we see that it's getting darker, right? The sun is no longer here, right? There's no more sun. It's getting darker because it's becoming night, and they're still digging away. They have a big old hole here. It's really large. They're digging, and they keep digging. And then Tintin says, but no, it's impossible. What? What is impossible? What is so impossible? He says. That the treasure can be here, says Tintin. What? Why? So he's saying that the treasure can't be here. It's not there. It's impossible that it's there. Why? And then Tintin says, well, just think. Supposing Sir Francis Haddock left the unicorn carrying the treasure, why would he have buried it here at the foot of the cross? What would you have done in his place? On the day you left the island, you'd have taken the treasure with you, wouldn't you? But then, he says, and so he's talking about what he would have done, right? So he's saying that he took the treasure from the boat, right? So we have the boat here. There's the boat. So he took the treasure to the island. Here's the island with the cross on it. So he's saying that he took the treasure to the island and then buried it underground. But then if a boat came to rescue him, right, somebody came to save him, another boat, right, why wouldn't you take the treasure with you, right? You don't want to leave the treasure. It's your treasure, right? He got rescued. So he's asking Haddock what he would have done. Wouldn't you have taken the treasure with you? But then, he says, then probably the treasure is still out there under the sea, and we followed a false trail, he says. So it's actually probably under the water still. It probably still sunk with the original ship, right? Went down under with the treasure and as he escaped, right? And so he's saying that it's probably actually still underwater. All because of that creature Calculus, blistering barnacles, he says. No, he's upset. He thinks that Calculus caused this problem. So he's no longer happy with him. He's not happy with him. He's now upset with him, angry with him, right? Maybe he's angry with him. It's all your fault, you certified ignoramus. Yes, I'm tired of telling you. It's further westward, he says. Westwards. Westwards, I'll give you westwards. He grabs the pendulum and throws it away. Oh, he says. Now, your infernal pendulum's gone west, you Olympic athlete, you. He's so very upset. He is not being very nice to Calculus. He threw his pendulum. He's being very mean to him. But Calculus also isn't being very helpful. And then Snowy brings it back. Woo, 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 woo. And so he brings it back because he's a dog, right? And then he stamps on it. Boof, joof, smashes it with his foot. Take that and that. Now it's buried. Pestilential pendulum. There, and don't mention it again. Come now, we're going back, he says. And so don't mention it again is don't talk about this pendulum, ever. I am banning it. You cannot talk about this. Now, come on. He's furious, says Tintin, because he's very angry. He's very upset. As they're marching back to the boat. And then, of course, we see Snowy dig up the pendulum. He digs, finds the pendulum, and runs back with it in his mouth. And he goes back to Calculus with it in his mouth and goes, hoo, hoo, hoo. What a good little doggy you are. Darn Snowy. No more games now. Down, Snowy. So he's saying, good dog, good doggy. Who's a good doggy? And then Tintin is now saying, come on, Snowy. Don't get in trouble with Haddock. He's very upset. Rawr. So no more games, no more playing around. And so now Calculus asks, is something bothering the captain? He seems to be rather worried. He's a little upset, right? Because he doesn't know what's going on. He can't hear anything. And then he turns around. Where have the Siamese twins got to? Where are the Thompsons? Where are the twins? Wait, I thought they were behind us. Ahoy! Thompson! Thompson! He yells back at them. And then he turns to Calculus as he pulls out his pendulum and says, No, please. Oh, no. Please don't worry. The little dog brought it back for me. And he is very upset now. He sees that he has the pendulum again that he tried to get rid of and is fuming. He's so angry. Like smoke is coming out of his ears. He's very angry. Billions of blistering barnacles this I've had it on. Captain, he says. He's swinging his pickaxe around. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I've got to let the fly at something. He says. To let fly at something, he means like just hit something. He just wants to throw his arms at something, hit something as hard as he can. And so he lets it rip. He lets it fly. He just, boom, smacks as hard as he can right into the tree. Boom, just smacks it. And of course, boom, 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 boom. A bunch of coconuts fall right down onto his head. And then he's, thousands of thundering typhoons. That's the lot, eh? And then another one falls on his head. Of course. That's the lot. He was saying all of them fell on me, right? That's everything that fell. That was a whole lot of them. But then, of course, just one more for good measure. Just one more. So he's not having a very good day. He's very upset. And so he sits down and Tintin says to him, Now, Captain, you sit down for a while I go and have a look for those two. I'm going to go look for the Thompson twins. All right. I wonder where they've got to, the sillies. So he's calling them fools, right? Where are they? Where have they gotten to? Where are they? So he's going through the forest. He's walking. He's got Snowy with him. They're going together. And then we go when we see the other ones. And Calculus asks, Where's Tintin gone? He's gone west, he says. Because he's done listening to him, and he's just going to say, he's gone west. And then Tintin says, well, I think I can hear them as they're going up the hill again. And he says, what on earth are you doing here? He says, us? We're filling in the hole. It's safer. People will never look where they're going. So they stayed behind to put the dirt back into the hole. They're refilling the hole with dirt because it's safer. It's safer, right? Somebody might walk along and fall in on this island where nobody lives. Like I said, they're not the smartest, they're not the brightest, but, that's what they decided to do. Although, we're actually going to leave it there because we see the next thing is next day. So we might as well wait until the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this episode. I hope that you had fun and maybe learned a little something. Make sure to leave a comment below with how it went and subscribe to the channel while you're down there. Remember, there are transcripts for everything on benslanguagelab.com. I'll see you next time. Bye.